What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and we are back in the third round. Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock right now. They're in commercial break, but the pick is in, and I think kind of frustratingly for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Falcons, one pick ahead of them, took edge rusher D'Angelo Malone out of Western Kentucky. Pretty sure Philly brought him in for a top 30 visit. Edge rusher could very well be a position they want to target here, so maybe there's a little bit of like, God damn. But as it stands, Nakobe Dean's still on the board. Now, there's reports about like an injury. He didn't get, a surgery on it. That's kind of why he's falling here. Obviously, there's concerns about his speed, concerns about his size. He's sub 6 feet tall. But I almost feel like just like, obviously, Dean's a player, man. He's a good player. There's a lot of pros. There's a lot of upside there potentially. But like the morale, the victory this would be to the fan base, like it's a business. Football's a business. I feel like the fans want Nakobe Dean. Maybe at this point, you're like, well, the guys that are left aren't the best. I mean, you could look right now, edge rusher Cam Thomas from San Diego State, Egbenari from South Carolina, Myjai Sanders, Cincinnati. Maybe those guys could work. You got, Perion Winfrey if you want just to keep building the D-line. But there's linebackers here, man. Nakobe Dean's still here. Channing Tindall is still here. Those probably be my top two by a considerable amount. But then you got Leo Chenal from Wisconsin. Into the secondary. I mean, who else is going to play in the secondary for us right now, right? So, like, you could look Zion McCollum, Sam Houston. I mean, I don't know if the value will be there with Marcus Jones. Again, he's a slot corner. But Jalen Armour-Davis and Zion McCollum, Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, like, those three guys could come in and compete for whatever we do on the other side. Like, I would say, honestly, as much as Nakobe Dean would be hyped just for the fan base and excited with the potential, I do feel like corner, like in terms of like what we need to make our last kind of big investment, because we don't pick again to the fifth round. I would say someone like Zion McCollum, who's 6'2", 6'3", has elite production, albeit at a smaller school level, but has the speed, athleticism to catch on with the NFL right away. But here we go, John Dornbos up here for the pick. Come on, John Dornbos is like one of the, like he's kind of like Kelsey. He's like a big fan favorite. Just, give us Nakobe Dean. I don't know if you can hear this. 83rd pick.
22 NFL draft. The number one team in sports with the greatest fans in the world. The Philadelphia Eagles are happy, are happy to select a linebacker from Georgia, Nakobe.
Let's go! Nakobe Dean! They did it. They did it. They got, again, you go to this. Obviously, we're gonna be excited because of what we saw was like the best linebacker in college football last year. Oh my God. I didn't think I was gonna be this hyped because I still think eliminate the hype, eliminate the fact that we wanted a linebacker, eliminate the fact that Kobe Dean was amazing last year in college. You try to view this as a fan, there's a reason why he's slipping. Usually when there's red flags, and hey, JOK slipped last year to a certain extent, and he was amazing for the Cleveland Browns last season. But the fact that there was legitimate concerns with the Nakobe Dean because he didn't run at all this offseason. So, the notion that even though game speed looks, if we're not going to knock Devin Lloyd for his slow 40 and the gain speed's good, I think the exact same goes for Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean's gain speed is as good, I think, really, as any linebacker in this draft class. And even though he didn't test to put, proof to paper there, it's, is it the medical? Is it, he is niche, he's sub 6 feet tall, but like, there has to be a size that's like, on one hand, you have to just understand bias, excitement aside. There's probably a reason he get in the third round. So maybe just because there's a reason he might be a third rounder should limit your expectations potentially to Nakobe. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to think we just got to steal the draft. Maybe we did. But I'm just trying to not view this exclusively in the bubble of excitement and hype that we got this up, for what most people, a lot of people have as the consensus linebacker one for a lot of this process. And if you take that and you compare that with, there's a reason he slipped, I think you'll find that kind of levels out where our expectations should be for Nakobe Dean. But I mean, again, anytime you pick a player, you're not going to start out right negative with the selection. You want to just focus on the positive and assume that everything's going to work out well and it is going to be positive. And if that's the case, man, you got someone like Nakobe Dean that's, when he's at his best. Coverage, he's a game wrecker in coverage. He's the kind of player that can be a leader of the defense, 100%, call the plays. Reunite with Jordan Davis. There's already that chemistry. That has some value. Because a lot of plays, if you look at, and you see, I saw a couple of reports from scouts on Twitter. It was just like, I'm breaking down, the Kobe Dean film, and all the thing is popping is like, my God, Jordan Davis is opening things up for him to be so productive. Well, we got both those guys. Man, my stream was lagging, though. I missed, everyone knows I've been kind of like standing George Pickens to a certain extent. I missed the pick. My stream just like paused and must have restarted at some point, so I missed like I don't even know, 10 minutes off, which is frustrating. Shout out to him. Steelers just grabbed DeMarvin Leal. But, I mean, we just got Nakobe Dean. That's going to make that, what did I just say before the pick? He's like, there's a certain extent of goodwill that Howie can earn back with this fan base. And even if, maybe if Nakobe Dean's a bust and they're, going from a first round to a third rounder for a reason, like the goodwill that Howie's buying with that selection is valuable. There's value in that. So like we're leaving this draft with, as it stands right now, for a premier picks. Who knows what we can get 5th round? I mean, is Zion McCollum still going to be there? That'd be unreal. Jalen Armour Davis from Alabama, that would be unreal. We're showing a lot of love for SEC here. But Philly leaving this draft with A.J. Brown, with Jordan Davis, with Jason Kelce's successor, which in lieu of the first reaction video, which let's be honest, I was a little negative, but it was more underwhelmed than negative because I was like, okay, it makes sense if Kelce said he's gone and yada, yada, yada. But then I saw the reaction. Jason Kelce's doing like a live stream or something, and he was like, yeah, I pretty much scouted this kid. I love this kid. He's the closest to, the tape that I've seen, the guy that can replace me. And then as soon as you hear that, also combined with the fact that there's no way Jeff Stoutland didn't give the thumbs up to Cam Jurgens at that number 2 second round spot. That's a lot to, feel good about that selection. And then in the 3rd round, you get Nakobe Dean, the guy that most people were screaming that we get in the 1st round. There's a lot of legitimate and genuine and deserved hype and anticipation right now so far through this draft for Philadelphia. And I mean, you still got the impending decision of Honey Badger. Like, what if somehow, some way, and I don't think it's going to be impossible, that Howie Roseman can figure out the dollars and cents to sign Honey Badger. Just imagine. Like, there's your safety. Okay, I'm still kind of honestly terrified about who's going to be corner 2 in this team because I didn't see a lot out of Zach McPherson. I didn't see enough to say that he sucks. I didn't see enough to write him off, but I also didn't see enough to be like, yeah, you know what? He could be our corner 2 next year. And now we're at the point in the draft where it's like, if you get Zion McCollum, for example, like who I think is the top corner still available, or Jalen Armour Davis, who's the next corner I still think could be good. Even then, you're probably not going to feel overly confident with like a 5th round pick, which is our next selection, really making the difference there as a starting corner. Very important position. So, again, Xavier Rhodes has familiar. Like there's still some veterans out there that Philly could look at bringing in. I would just say I'm confused, but they clearly have a plan. I don't think they're comfortable with who they currently have on the roster at the cornerback spot. But, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. We still have 2 picks tomorrow. Again, I would love to see, it's going to be interesting to see what that big board is. I'll probably make a tweet about it because I got a busy day tomorrow. It'll be probably a reaction will come out like later that night, not, shortly after the pick. But you can't be mad with Nakobe Dean. I think if just the one thing I would say to all the Eagle fans out there right now is just there's a reason he fell. Don't act like that's going to hinder how well he is for the Philadelphia Eagles, but use that to hinder maybe your expectations about what we're going to see at Nakobe Dean. If we're hyping this guy up as the next god, next freak, next all-pro linebacker, and he just ends up being okay, or maybe he's slightly underwhelming, I feel like given what happened here today, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. But if you do overhype it, if you fail to realize that there's a reason he fell to the 3rd round, and there might be more than meets the eye, you might be setting yourself up for failure a little bit. So, and disappointment, but that's all we're going to talk about that because we need to be hyped. We need to be excited. We just got fucking Nakobe Dean. Let's go, Fly Eagles Fly. Thank you guys very much for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you're hyped for Nakobe Dean, Cam Jurgens, AJ Brown, Jordan Davis, hopefully the Honey Badger. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow recapping the final picks of the Eagles draft. Till then, peace out.